This is uncomfortable, but yet gotta get into it. Welcome to the. Let me see. Okay. Welcome to the We-On-Loc Nation channel, where we discuss the issues and ask the hard questions. And remember when I told you yesterday and the day before that we're going to get into this Jasmine Crockett debate on if she is for or against Black Americans when it comes to reparations and doing stuff for us and all blah, 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 blah. We're going to get into that today. But first, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the PayPal. Hit the. Oh, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But do hit the like and do hit the share. Now, this has been talked about, especially last night, with a whole bunch of FBA nonsense going on. They believe, and this is truly what Black people believe. I don't care if you're from this tribe or that tribe, but they truly believe that Black America has been getting the short end of the stick. And it's absolutely true. However, the demands are high. The demands are high for, I hate using this word, Black Americans, and they need answers. Not only answers, but they need tangibles. They need specific things, what you're going to do. And when you say these things, you must do. Now, Jasmine Crockett has been caught plenty of times, and she hasn't backed down from it. She hasn't backed down from any question that has been thrown her way. It's just that, and again, going back to the Black voters, and it's split down the middle. So, like, people are, I'm going to be bold and say 90% of Black voters are going to go to the polls in November and vote for Jasmine Crockett anyway. I do believe that. However, there are those on the other side. You got the small little group of FBA people saying, no, 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 we got to speak to you first. We can talk to you first. Why couldn't you do that with Obama? Just by curiosity. Where were you FBA people when Obama was trying to be the first Black African American president, which he's not the first first African American. George Washington was, but let me not get into that conversation. So anyway, my question is, hey, Jackie, hey, Jessica. Sorry. Where were y'all FBA people when Barack Obama was in office? Did you talk to him first? Did you meet with him first? I'm just trying to get the clear air in the room. Let me sit up here because we're gonna be here for a while. Let me get comfortable. And we get our new couch soon. So, like I said, where were you FBA people? Where were you? Hey, Vaughn, tap, 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 tap in. I forgot how to do it. So, but let me see. No, that's the polling. Let's see. Donovan McNabb, you were my favorite quarterback. Oh, damn. Donovan McNabb was your favorite quarterback? Oh, great. What the fuck does it have to do with the with the topic? I'll boot you, but since Donovan McNabb is black, I'm gonna let you go with that for right now. Oh, you trying to say it's me? Oh, I take everything back. My bad, my bad, my bad. I am that guy. Yes, yes, yes. You know, they try holding a brother, try holding a nigger back. Get it? A nigger back. Oh, I hate Lily Gallus. But anyway, well, let me not say hate, because hate is a very strong word for a white cave woman who absolutely hates black people. That's a very, very strong word. Very, very strong word indeed. But where was I at? Oh, yeah. FBA people were talking yesterday, and they're talking the same stuff that they always do. And one of the elders came in and he said, well, I am FBA, but I'm also Pan African. That's when things went completely left. Yo, we ain't talking about Pan, and anyone even let the man speak. They wouldn't even let the man. They wouldn't even let the elder speak. And see, this is the problem that I have with certain people. You think just because you are so much privileged, it doesn't mean you have to disrespect the elders, the people who were here before you, Negroes. At least let him cook for a few minutes, and then you can rebuttal. But anyway, it just went far left and blah blah blah. Anything. But anyway, Jasmine specifically, when she's asked questions, she does not run from them. So I will give her that. She does not run from a challenge. She does not run from anything. And these are the type of but and again, this is let it be known, November is 12 months away. So she gonna be good. But I just think that so many people just it she's for Israel. She's for Israel. She's for this. She's for this class. She's for this class. She's not for black Americans. How do you know? Does she ever speak anything specifically for black Americans? Do we even know what and how politics work? Do this is a question. Do we know how politics work? Politics, and this is the basic. Politics work when you do something for yourself. The Asians do it. The Asians, when they come over here to America, they're granted certain permissions. And then later on, the government will come down and swoop them a grant or two. The Hispanics do for self, and then later on they'll come in, the government will come in and swoop them a couple of bucks. We have always been that special group of people, whether you're African American, Black American, American African, however it may go, we have always been that special group to be hated. True to fact, we have always been hated from the time that most of us, some of us, however the story may be, have came over here and have been enslaved. For those who don't know, it's quite pitiful. You don't know your history. You need to go to a library and you need to research yourself through. We have to suffer through Jim Crow, um, Willie Lynch. The list goes on and on and on. Most of our young heroes have died at the hands of white women. And yet, when we talk about reparations, we're talking about things that need repaired, right? And if we're talking about the things that need repaired, why are we talking in cash payments? Why are we specifically talking about things that will depreciate in value? Land does not depreciate in value. Money does. Unless they're going to give us money in gold bullion, unless they're going to give us money in gold currency. Well, that's all that shit is currency. I'm talking about brick, gold, silver, bronze. It's a problem because now you're talking about something that depreciates in value, and yet we all go back. And by the way, it's no different from the PPP loans from back then. When everybody was in when everybody was in quarantine, everybody was getting them PPP loans. It's no different. So when you get supposedly reparations, and people come up with some crazy numbers. Some say 600,000 per family per capita. Some say 1 million. Some say 3 million. I mean, that's a stretch for for America, which is bankrupt. That's a stretch for an America that owes 60 plus $1 trillion, and for a president like Donald Trump, who proclaims that he's going to pay 30% of that with tariffs, is far-fetched, and he's full of shit. He's full of it. But you got to figure, but here's the thing. You have to figure out who you are. There's too many, there are too many tribes out there. There's too much tribalism out there. You want to be this, you want to be that, you want to be a Muslim, you want to be a Christian, you want to be a Baptist, you want to be a Sadist, you want to be this, you want to be FBA, you want to be Adolfs, you want to be Israelites, you want to be First Corinthians, blah 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 blah. You're too separated. White folks, I don't have no damn tribes. You must do Carmelo and Obama math. None of them motherfuckers did anything. There, problem solved. Problem solved. None of them did anything. And none of them were going to do anything. Not just for the black people. No. I'm not specifically going to do anything for black people. No. And everybody got mad at me. Why didn't you vote for Kamala? Number one, I'm grown. It's my prerogative. Number two, she's not going to specifically do anything for black people. Don't fake the funk and say that well, I'm not going to get into the whole she's black thing. I'm not going to get into all that. Not anymore. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. You make your own damn judgments. Do you think Kamala Harris is black? Let's just get that out the way. Put a one in the chat if you think Kamala Harris is black. Put a one in the chat if you think Kamala Harris is black. Put a two if you don't think she is. Let's just get that out the way. If you think that Kamala Harris is black, just put it. It's like, oh, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. We got a problem. We got a problem, ladies and gentlemen. We got a problem. Now, this is not me. And my cousin is looking at this. This is not me saying it. It's the people. It's the people here saying it. So don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. Do not blame me. I am just the messenger. I remember you saying that way back when. I said, I said it then. I ain't saying it right now. Just because you take hot sauce out your bag, or you proclaim to listen to Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg, that don't mean nothing. Because Snoop necessarily, let me not get into all that. Those are entertainers. Snoop, I don't think Bootsy ever said anything. So, Snoop, Nelly, KRS-One, Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, they're all entertainers. No, Snoop's my guy. Calvin Brothers is my guy. Calvin Brothers has been my guy ever since I was 8 years old. But when it comes to this, all jokes aside, we don't need all that. We don't need all the extra shit. We needs what's real here and now. What up, Black Money Court? Blessings, my brother, blessings. We need shit that's real right here and right now. And we need what Black America has been screaming about for years. Is Calvin Broadus, aka Snoop, is going to help us get reparations? Is Calvin Broadus, aka Snoop Dogg, aka the Dog Father, gonna help us get reparations? And why does she keep buzzing me? She never cooked greens in the bathtub. I'm not fucking with you. I am not messing with you. I am not. I'm not going. I'm not going. Let me see. I'm not going while I rewind.
For illegal immigrants, they got it all. Again, I always reference that Angelino card that Karen Bass there said, "Oh, we need to get the illegal immigrants because they're scared to go outside because ICE is going to gaffle them up. ICE is going to snatch them up, and so they can't go outside, so they can't work. So we got to make sure that they're able to take care of themselves." Really, Miss Karen Bass? In Los Angeles, the highest homeless population is Black Americans. Are they getting an Angelino card? Now, I know some people say, well, they're trying to do this homeless program where they get this, that, the other. Are you trying? They don't need temporary motels. They need a place to stay. They need some real change. They need some money. But of course, we know there in California, Gavin Newsom and the California Legislative Black Caucus, yeah, you heard me, Black Caucus, they're not really big on reparations for Black Californians. How do we know that? Because in 2024, we saw them pretend that they were going to go vote on a Freedmen's Bureau and the money to fund the Freedmen's Bureau, but they got caught by Bill Esselstyn, who was a Republican.
You spell politics wrong, but I mean, I get it. But I mean, I said the same. Not, don't get me wrong. I said the exact same thing too. But here's where I would say. I don't mind voting for somebody who sounds good, somebody who looks good, someone who speaks the truth. But there's a distinct difference between someone speaking the truth and someone doing what they said that they were going to do. Right? Donald Trump did one thing that he did say he was going to do, and that was lock and load on the majority amount of immigrants. He did do that. All the other nonsense, all the other bullshit, he did not do. No, absolutely not. But these are the wings of the same damn file. Republicans, Democrats, they all say the same thing. Thing about it is, Jasmine Crockett, I believe it, and I'm putting this all on the line right here. I'm putting it all on the line. And I'm specifically saying she is different from everybody else. It's just like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you got, let's just say you got a whole bunch of stars out there and all of them die out, but you got that one that's right there, that's shining bright. Got to take a chance on it. And I'm willing to take a chance on it at least one last time. This one time, and again, due to her, and this is the reason why I'm voting for it. Y'all don't have to follow this same token. Oh my God, she's cool. You don't have to follow this same method. I'm voting for her specifically based on her stance when it comes to Black people and the encouragement that she has standing up for specifically Donald Trump, which one of the most, he is prejudiced, but he's a capitalist. He's not a Republican nor a Democrat. He is a capitalist. Anything that is symbol, let me start over. Any corporation or anything that can make him money, he's going to attack it, whether it be insurance companies, whether it be small corporations, big corporations. Hold on. Where was I? Okay. Hey, look, it's damned if you, like I said, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm not here to sway anybody. The choice is yours. Either you're not gonna, if you're gonna stay home, you're gonna stay home. I'm not swaying anyone. I said specifically for me. Obviously, you weren't listening. You weren't listening at all. I am specifically stating for me, I am going to vote for Jasmine Crockett. I am going to put it all out there specifically, and all for good reason. And she has, thus far, she has shown me. And maybe it's because I'm not in the politics. I wasn't in the politics that much. I'm learning little by little as I go along, but it just shows me for the rest of these people out here, it just shows me the same old shit. I'm putting it all on the limb that she might be different, but the thing about it is, you have to show up for her. You have to be there. You have to throw up the what you call it, the flares or whatever, and get her attention. I've told y'all before, get on the phones. Get on the phones and complain. Get on the phones to her district, whether it be in Washington or in Texas. Get on the phones. I already spoken to these people. I've spoken to them already. This is on y'all. If you want to get her attention and you want to express just like these Latinas, and there's video clips of her meeting with the Latino folk, because they were specifically saying, do you something about, I don't know, immigrant reform, because these people, they're they're threatening us, and just like they threaten the blacks in Chicago. Are you gonna represent us like you represent them people? And she going on a soliloquy, and she said, yes, sure, fine. The point is, they get to her. When are we gonna stand up as a group and say, Jasmine, hello, hi, you, yeah, us, right? And of course, in this particular, not this particular clip, but I'm gonna play two specific clips. One is like, I think two, maybe three, 3 years old. I'm not sure. And then one specifically that just happened last night, when the lady talks to her about reparations. Let me get to that now. When she talks specifically about reparations, she specifically asks, what does that look like? Does that look like in cash payments? Does it look, do you want cash payments? Do Are we talking about a piece of land, which we don't have very much land left? Or are we talking about in taxes? That we shouldn't, black folks shouldn't have to pay taxes. And I am a proponent of this too, that black folks should not have to pay taxes for the next 10 years. Black folks should not have to pay any taxes for the next 10 years. So what does reparations look like for black people? And people kept, most of the people saying, we want money, we want money, we want money. Let me see. Let me see. No, that's not it. I am for cash. I am for money. I'm about making money. But some of you, let's be perfectly honest. If you get, like, say, a cash payment of $1 million per family, right? People, certain black people, conservatives say, you're going to bankrupt the United States. The United States is already bankrupt. What are we talking about here? United States is already bankrupt. You, like I said, you owe trillions and trillions of dollars to people in Russia and people in other countries. It's quite crazy. Let me see.
Ticket.
Here we go. Let me see.
I guess just based off of someone proposed what we do with tax dollars.
Yep, here we go.
in a safe way. Obviously, we've seen what's happened with Signal Gate, that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that Intel has always been very important to the United States. And so that's...
Okay. Well, let's move on to something more stateside. I'm going to try to get through these quickly. There's some misinformation going around about your stance on reparations. I guess just based off of someone proposed what we do with tax dollars, and you gave critique for the idea, but you weren't necessarily saying you were anti-reparations.
No.
And you told me you've become lead on a couple projects.
Yes, like Truth and Reconciliation in the House. That's something that Barbara Lee was leading on, that I'm now working on. I think that anybody that knows me knows that I'm a fan of, making sure that people understand our contributions, as well as acknowledging the harm that has happened as it relates to our people. And so for me, it's always been about what is it that we can actually get past. Because I feel like what we do is we constantly have the conversation and we're like, reparations, but it's like, all right, so if we were to move forward in any way, what does that look like? And so, I look at it like, I think it takes kind of some bold, unapologetic people to move the needle. We know that Donald Trump advocated for reparations for January 6ers, right? And so it's like, why is that not a big controversy, right? Like, I mean, that's a bit more controversial in my mind, right? So why is it that we can sit here and be okay with the fact that billionaires are going to get historic tax cuts that are permanent, and we're not talking about like really evaluating what could move the needle as it relates to how far behind we got because of our contributions, basically just from slave labor and
Again, what does it specifically look like? Are we talking about in cash payments? Are we talking about taxes? Are we talking about in land? What specifically are we talking about? Because these people are not going to just wake up in the morning, start writing a bill, and it get to Donald Trump's desk and say, hey, sign it. Trump is not going to do that. He's not going to do it. Because once, let's just say we're all in accord. Well, that's going to be far-fetched. That's going to be far and in between. Let's just say we have enough people to go and get this thing done, right? It goes to Trump's office. He has to sign off on it. Trump has to sign, whoever is in office, and I'm losing my voice, whoever is in office has to sign his Hancock, his signature on that bill, on that specific bill. He's not going to do it. Now, if we are willing to put our lives on the line and start shedding blood, not for people who don't represent us as far as Africanity, unless revolution, unless Negroes start being scared of revolution, unless we come together like Voltron, unless, especially, listen, spirituality is the key. Spirituality, physically, mentally, we're not together. We are not together, y'all. Unless you are willing to come together like Voltron and start destroying shit, Not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. And I'm not necessarily. I'm not saying just blow up the United States. No, 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 no. You don't have the military. You don't have the weaponry. You don't. One or two guns ain't gonna help it. You don't even make your own bullets. I'm specifically stating fighting to represent you and you only, and not have Britain represent you. No. Mm-mm. 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 Let's get into it.
Speaking of those tax cuts for the billionaires, there's a lot of things that have gone down this year that we hope that the 2026 midterm elections can usher in people like yourself to put forth some change. What sort of policies do you want to see happen if you get to see?
Yeah, so a couple of things that I think are really important right now as people are having a conversation about what is affordable and what is not. Housing has been an unaffordable thing for a lot of people, especially people coming out of college talking about, hey, I want to buy a home. I think that we actually should revive some of the proposals that the vice president was making. I think it's absolutely insane that this administration is like, oh, we should have a 50-year loan. And then you pay some ridiculous amount of money. Like, the idea of buying a home should be about building generational wealth and being able to pass it along. And when we start to talk about that wealth gap that exists, that's one of the ways. In addition to that, I think that it's abysmal that we've not raised the minimum wage. Now, I'm not saying that people should have minimum wage jobs, but at a very minimum, we should raise it because we've not raised it. And granted, there are states that have, but we've not done it federally. And so some states haven't. And so while we're giving tax breaks to the people at the top, they are also getting the labor of these very same people and not having to pay them. So it's like they're getting a windfall on both sides. In addition to the fact, it is further burdening the tax dollars. And I use that phrase burdening, but like generally speaking, straining, right? Because what we saw in the shutdown is people finally learned that there are 42 million people that are on SNAP benefits in the United States. But people had a thought about what a SNAP recipient is or who they are. They found out they are service members. They found out that they are people that work jobs, but they're just not making enough money until they qualify to get this $6 a day to eat. Well, why is it that the taxpayers should be taking money out of our pockets so billionaires can have more, while at the same time, we also are taking care of your workers because we're not forcing you to pay them a livable wage? So for me, I think that, there haven't really been candidates talking about raising the minimum wage in forever. I think this is a very simple, easy, bipartisan conversation for us to have, especially since everyone can acknowledge that the inflation, for sure,
Thank you for the gift.
Been something the wages have kept up with.
Thank you for the gift. Again, you know how politics work. You must ask yourself that question. Unless you start building for yourself, unless you start doing for self, let me just say that first and foremost, then they start looking your way and say, well, let me help you with this. Let me help you with these tax cuts. Let me help you with a low cost of insurance. Let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. Nah. I will be your representative. I will be your representative. Not JD Vance. Not JD Vance. I will be your representative. When you start doing for self, that's when shit gets done. That's when shit gets clear. When you start doing for self. And I'm not saying Jasmine is not a bad person. But Jasmine needs to understand that this is critical. And Black people are not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. Sorry to say. They're not going to fall for this. They're not going to fall for these politics anymore. Give us something. We want to see something. We want we want some. They want something in put something in our hands that this is what black folks are saying. Because like homeboy said, same spin. Same spin. I think I should have put this all in a row before I even did anything else. But yeah, and then of course Roland Martin gonna talk that shit. See, this is the reason why I don't listen to Roland Martin. This is one of the reasons why I don't listen to Roland Martin, because he just talk. And then when we didn't vote Kamala because of this. We didn't vote for this candidate and that candidate. And he just you're gonna lose this and you're gonna lose that. We're gonna use the Civil Rights Act anyway. We're gonna lose specific things due to the fact of all the lies. All these specific companies and all these specific things like the museum. We're going to lose the museums. We're going to lose Black history because most of you don't even know Black history. If we're going to talk about Black history, name it all, call it all out. Not just Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Malcolm Elvers, Rosa Parks. Call it all out. All of it. Because believe it or not, Africa is your people's too. Like it, love it, hate it. Now, this is one of the reasons, and I'm going to play this, I'm going to specifically play for you. This is one of the reasons why I think, she'll win the primary. She will win the primary hands down. Hands down. No one ain't going to be voting for James. This is specifically the reason why people stayed home. Pay attention.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country.
Anybody want me to play that part again? Donald Trump. What the hell? Come on now. But does anybody want me to play that? Anybody want me to play that back? It's just this is specifically, y'all feeling it? Yeah. I'm not specifically gonna just do that for black people. No. What's gonna help benefit white folks and Asian folks and Hispanic folks will definitely benefit black people. So just ignore all the BS that we've been through throughout the years, throughout the centuries. Just ignore all that. Ignore Jim Crow, ignore Willie Lynch, ignore all those things, right? Right? Okay, cool. Cool. This is where we look specifically this is where we look specifically at a Jasmine Crockett. And we say these words. Why? Why should we vote for you? And I'm not saying all is going to be doing this because 89% of black people, whether you're and it's going to be mostly women, believe it or not. Believe it. Forget about all that trash that trash from TikTok and other places and say, I'm not going to vote for Jasmine Crockett because she's not white. No, you're going to go. I'm there to say 95% of you are going to vote for Jasmine Crockett. Even me, I'm going to vote for Jasmine Crockett in November. You know what I mean. If you don't type in the chat some stupid shit, then you gonna figure that shit out for yourself. We suffer through famine and all this other shit and police brutality. I was a victim of that. I was a victim of police brutality before. I was also a victim of white folks. White folks that tried to carve me up and put me on a plate. Boy had a big ass knife too. But either way, that's the reason why Negroes stayed home. Now here's the clip I was specifically telling you about. Let me see.
We need to continue.
Yep, this is it. What did I do? Well, I didn't want to lose my job. It was either pop the. Let me not say what I really want to say due to YouTube purposes, because YouTube is quite sensitive nowadays. Even though Nick Fuentes can say the N-word and Lily Gallus can say the N-word, let me not go there, because I'm worse. I'm way worse. Let me see here.
We need a legal strategy around how we protect ourselves. This woman has been going hard in the paint, and it's been amazing to watch. If you live in Texas and you don't know her, get your life.
Now, this, like I said, it was a year later. Now, pay attention. Now, the clip from before was only a couple of days, right? This is a year. Now, you tell me if this is exactly the same. It's the same. It's the same word salad, or is this different to you?
If you live in this country, you don't know her, please get your life. Texas is 30th district. I got a lot of questions about Texas. Listen, this conversation I'm looking forward to. I want to first understand how St. Louis, right? St. Louis,
Right.
the Lou. How
That's
does
right.
a woman from the Lou, home of
No, we don't need to know all that.
it right now. 13 other governors came and descended as Texas is, I guess, establishing that it has the right to supersede the federal government and handle it. So I want to ask this question to both of you because I hear black folk because I'm on these airwaves call in, and for a lot of people in this country who are black, the migrants, the immigrants coming in, that's a problem. Whether it's Californians, Arizonans, Texans, what is the pain point for us with the millions of folk who are descending upon this country? What is the actual problem that we need to solve?
Yeah, okay, so a couple of things. I'll talk specifically about the black folk and the concern. I think what we're seeing is that you're seeing the federal government, the state governments, the local governments that are visibly pouring money into the migrant crisis. And so black folk are like, well, wait a minute now y'all ain't gave us no reparations. Y'all always like messing us up. We can't get none but people that weren't born here. Not to mention black folk was dragged over here, but that's a whole other issue. Like we didn't immigrate, right? Like they brought us over here, like they captured us, they killed us, they raped us. So like black people, like I don't know, make it make sense to me, right? And it's because they can actually see the money. The problem is that the United States government is consistently giving out money that is for the benefit of black folk specifically. So I know as a member of the House, I have handed down so many checks, millions of dollars to my district on environmental injustice issues, right? Because we typically.
Malik, expand on that. Expand on that. I'm reading it as I'm listening to her. This is actually quite interesting. Won't you expand on that? Okay. And by the way, I'm serious when I say the younger generation of today, depending on what happens a year from now, this is going to shape. They are going to be the ones who shape this country or the United States. They're the ones that are going to shape this to the point where we either going to have a future or not. The youngins of this generation coming up, and I don't know if it's Z or Alpha, whoever. We need to lean on these younger people. Jasmine, like I said before, needs to lean on these younger people, and I believe she's going to do that. There's evidence of that. Not much particularly. I'm just saying. I've seen video evidence that she has leaned that way, and not very much, but hopefully this will be a trend down the line. This will definitely strengthen her vote. And I'm gonna read this real quick, and we're gonna move on. We have no power here. We are slaves, just not by whip. But I know what you mean. The world may change, but the scenario remains the same. You need our vote, but you specifically, yeah. You need our vote, but you specifically are going to give us little trinkets here, there. We get it. Nothing in housing, nothing in land, nothing in housing, no cash payments of any kind. You're not going to help build. You're not going to give us anything to establish anything, any type of goods that can transfer over here so we can build our own establishments or institutions, build our own hospitals. You saw the people. There are people in tech. There are some women who were pregnant. There were women who were pregnant that just didn't get the treatment that they deserved. As a matter of fact, one of them had to uh, have a baby in her car. Right? How white folks treat you, how white folks treat us. Let's get that free and clear. How white folks treat us. Is there a black hate bill, just like the Asian hate bill that's been going on? I know specifically what you're saying. I know specifically what you are saying. We have to get some. We have to get in some. We had to get in some way. Your voice. That's how you get in. Your voice. I'm not saying tear shit down. I mean, we can absolutely do that, but your voice. You know that that little Mary song. Please, Honor, please let us in. Please, Honor, please let us in. No, we're not doing that anymore. And this is the reason why we stayed home when Kamala was running for president. She was a vice president, but hey, no, we'll stay home. And just like they do press conferences, just like they do press conferences, Hakeem Jeffries, which I still got questions for Mr. Hakeem Jeffries. Just like Hakeem Jeffries, y'all go and get on your own little microphone. We'll vote. We'll emerge like Voltron, but it won't be specifically coming out for you. We're gonna start yelling specifically to the hills. We are tired. We are not going. We're not doing this anymore. We will offend for ourselves, and you can get a woman handstanding and twerking. You can get you can get a white woman to represent us. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Malcolm X told us, correct. Correct, sir. Correct. But he also stated that the most disrespected women in the world are black women. Jasmine Crockett, believe it or not, is a black woman. And she's been highly disrespected. So this is the reason why I say this to me, and I'm not saying that she's Christ. I do believe in my heart of hearts that she is and can be the one to represent us fully. But dig it. If you don't vote for her, guess what? Who's to say that JD Vance, right? Who's to say that JD Vance is not going to do these? Can you let me revamp that whole entire question? What's to say that JD Vance will not do the exact same things as Donald Trump? Can you guarantee me that? Can you, and I'm going as slow as I can you guarantee that JD Vance, who might be the next president of the United States of America, KKK, can you guarantee that he will not do the exact same things as Donald Trump?
typically live in the areas where our air, our water, our soil is contaminated because we have been a dumping ground for so long. And literally, we have homes that are killing us because when we walk outside, there's somebody that's polluting us. And so I am trying to do my part, but because you're not getting a check directly into your hands, or because it's not as well publicized, Black folk are like, we're not getting anything. And it's just not true that you're not getting anything. But also, I think what we're not doing a good thing about, as far as like the conversation around it, is we're not discussing that this is a matter of saving money, right? Like, it can't be. So for instance, I just saw your head turn. So for instance, when we're trying to deal with whether or not we're going to send foreign aid out, Black people are like, why y'all sending money across the world? Y'all need to keep that money here. Not recognizing that our money and our dollar goes so much further somewhere else. If we were to send our money to Haiti or Honduras or anywhere, it would actually go so much further because the dollar is so strong. In addition to the fact that maybe we can stabilize those areas and keep those people from coming here, because by the time they come here, it is going to cost us more money. But even when we're spending the money, what we need people to understand is that we've been on a birth decline for a minute in the United States. And so if we're going to keep this economy going, immigration actually helps us out. But it's not a matter of these people coming over and laying up. We need to make sure that they're working and they're paying taxes.
I was talking with, hold on, Charles. I was talking with your.
Do you think what she has stated made sense? And again, I truly get it. You need reparations, and you need reparations now. How do I put this in a frame? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Become a member. Hit the like button. Hit the like. Hit the like. I'm trying to frame this in a way so people can understand where I'm coming from. Do you think getting cash payments now, is that going to help or hurt Black America? And when I'm talking about reparations, I'm talking about in cash payments. I'm going to start there. Put a 1 in the chat if you think, or say it will, just say the words help or hurt. Do you think it's going to either help or hurt Black America? Do you think reparations and cash payments are going to help or hurt America? And if you think it's going to hurt or help Black America, put in the chat why. Put in the chat why.
Your colleague, Ali Velshi, who comes on the show frequently, and he's from Toronto. And he talked about how Toronto was a dead zone. And then they opened their borders and literally built one of the most cosmopolitan cities on the planet through immigration, through a willful plan of how we. I was watching another study, a news report. There was a dairy farmer who needs immigrants, but we only allow people to come in seasonally. But there's like whole farm industries. I hate to even say farm industries, but yes, that need workers that we aren't necessarily providing. There's a negative job. There's a lot of jobs available that we can't fill. Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry. I just wanted to understand.
No, so I think the congresswoman laid out beautifully the many layers to this conversation about immigration and how it functions. A lot of it is misinformation or a lack of understanding. Let's start there. But I think that at the end of the day, at its core, we're talking about a conversation about the illusion of competing narrative and the illusion of scarcity. If we were in a space where we could have an honest dialogue, just from a very like basic ground level, granular perspective, it seems to be very problematic for a number of Black people in America that we cannot get started a conversation about reparations. But in the same breath, it takes very little to make the decision to send literally hundreds of millions of dollars outside of America, or to give immigrants who are coming into the country cash money. And we can't even get started with a study about reparations as if someone said Voldemort or Beetlejuice 8 times. Like, it's not something that people will even entertain. And I think that for Black people in America who have been catching hell literally since we've been in America, that is a very hard pill to swallow. So that is like partially number one. I think also, as you've seen, and this is very, very, very relevant in sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York City, or so-called sanctuary cities. As you see these particular spaces become increasingly less inhabitable for working class Black people, where they cannot have places to live, they're having trouble finding accommodation, they are not having jobs that are keeping up with the wages, are not keeping up with the cost of living in these cities. And then you find migrants who are coming into the city, and it seems like there is a priority given to at least solving the problem or addressing the problem. It is a slap in the face, because you have come to us cycle after cycle, asking for our vote, asking for our support, telling us that we're a priority, telling us that our votes matter. And then when the rubber meets the road, what we are seeing is that you're not investing in addressing the issues that we've always had. But there's this new group of folks, this shiny new girlfriend, if you will, who comes into town, and now all of a sudden, they're the priority. And Black folk, in a lot of ways, part of it is misinformation, part of it is a lack of understanding, have a certain feeling about that. And that's
I think Charles Coleman Jr. is here. Representative Jasmine Crockett from the great state of Texas is here as well. I think Representative Crockett pointed out we have a poor, when I would say we, there's a poor communication. There's poor communication going on. Like, information's not getting out. Every time I hear somebody say they're not voting until a check is cut, I say to them, how does the check get cut? What's the process by which we get reparations? It's an act of Congress. No president, by the time it gets to the president's desk, so even civically, we are not at the level to have this conversation. Well, let me ask you, Representative Crockett, how do we begin to engage? Because there's been a bill that has never made it out of the House to study reparations. What do we need to do to make the study of reparations federally happen?
Yeah, I don't know, Karen. You know, like, I could sit here and I could politic with you all day, right? But there has to be a will. And I'm going to be honest, like Charles stated it absolutely correctly. You know, it is an act of Congress. And granted, there's a lot of acts that we need to finish, right? Like, we still don't have repo rights. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be done. We still don't have, listen, you talking about reparations, we can't get voting rights right now. Like that's taking it like back to what we was already supposed to have. Like, we can't get a.
See what I mean? And again, this was a year back. Just to remind you, this is a year back. And she's heard talk. Oh, what you gonna do for us? Reparations. She's heard all that. She's heard Black media. She's heard us. She's heard it. Now, will this change her tune going into the November primaries and her winning the primaries anyway? And then, you know, the generals ain't gonna be so nice. Going up against whoever in the Republican. So clean up your own community. Stop infiltrating. Then maybe we can clean it up. Stop coming up around our ways. But we also had to get used. We have to get used to this. The truth, like, stop coming in. Stop coming into fucking white folks neighborhoods. Stop coming into white folks neighborhoods and trying to belong. Conservatives. Most of y'all conservative. Oh, this is a nice neighborhood away from the blacks. This is a nice neighborhood away from the blacks. Like, man, I'm fine. There's a reason why. For example, this is the reason why C. Murder did what he did, aka Corey Miller. He had millions. He was worth millions, but he stayed in the hood. And the hood was always good. When he ate, everybody ate. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? When he ate. And it was somebody else. I can't even name I can't even mention any names right now, but because my mind is so cloudy. But there were people who have absolutely stayed in their hood. Didn't move in with the white folks and didn't try to get along and all this other stuff. I bet you dimes to dollars that Anton Daniels lives in a white neighborhood. Just saying. Just saying. I think there was a there was a black man who lived in a quote unquote gated community. Forgot his house keys. Ended up breaking into his own house. What do white folks do? I'm call the police. Excuse me. There is a black man breaking into these people's houses. Come to find out it was his own house. It's like, how dare you break into these people's houses and hang up pictures of your own family? What's going on? But again, going back to our reform, when we gonna have a black diaspora or a African diaspora reform? When we gonna have that? When we're gonna have that? When we're gonna have a like they came out with the Asian hate bill, right? When they came out with the Asian hate bill, because of a few Asians got, fired on, what the proper word is. I don't even know what the proper word is for YouTube anymore. I really don't. But deleted. I'll just keep saying deleted. A few Asians got deleted, and yes, Joe Biden came up with the Asian hate crime bill. Where's our crime bill? Where's our crime bill? I mean, we would love to have our crime bill. We would love to have people from Chicago not get snatched up, nor have all babies get snatched up and put in bracelets. I mean, come on. I mean, does that make sense to you? Does it make sense that Trump can do anything and everything to immigrants, including yo black ass? Which black folks, certain black folks, by the way, often say, he can't do anything to us. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. This is crazy. Let's continue.
The authorization of the Voting Rights Act And so, you know, for the most part, some of this stuff gets through the House when you at least have a Democratic House. But until we do something about this filibuster, until we reach the 60-person threshold on the Senate side, I think a lot of these things are really dead on arrival. Just like the Republicans in the House have said, basically, nope, we not gonna go.
Oh yeah. By the way, quick note. Malik, you gonna be my yeah, definitely. That's my brother. Anyone that wants to, you know, act a fool, just you know what to do, bro. Go ahead and tax that ass. Yeah, definitely tax that ass for me, young blood.
On the border deal, that's usually where we end up having things stall out, is because of this Jim Crow era filibuster that is really blocking a lot of our progress in this country. But you know what's frustrating is that becomes the brand. The brand then is tied down to, say, a democratically controlled Senate, and the next thing you know, people are saying, "Well, y'all had control of everything, and y'all ain't do nothing." And it's like, yeah, we did do stuff. Did we do enough? Probably not. But again, from a civic standpoint, we just don't have the 60-person threshold. Should DC have statehood to help us out with that? Absolutely, right? Like, there's a lot of things that we could do, but we can't give DC no statehood either, for one of the very same reasons, is this blockade that we have a lot of times in the Senate. And I don't know that if the Republicans get control of the Senate, that they won't get rid of the filibuster. Something tells me to get their draconian agenda across, they will do any and everything.
But Congressman Crockett, like on a certain level, I think that part of the reason why people are disaffected with the politics of Washington is if you are someone who considers yourself to be a centrist or a common sense person or a pragmatist or someone on the left. So I'm going from center all the way left. It can oftentimes feel like finger pointing between two sides who are playing a different game. So for decades, we have seen Democrats operate in both the House and the Senate as though there's some sort of moral high ground to be won, whereas Republicans are willing to do whatever it takes to get things done. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, there are competing ideologies. Well, is it more important to get things done, or is it more important how you get things done? And I think a lot of Americans are simply tired of the finger pointing between the two parties and say, oh, well, they're willing to get rid of the filibuster. Well, if that's what it takes, Chuck Schumer. So I think that, well, it is. And I'm right here in the great state of New York. But I think that, like, there is a danger in Democrats sort of continuing to point the finger at Republicans, like, about how they do things, because at the end of the day, they're doing things. Yeah. And when I say they're doing things, whether it's passing legislation or obstructing legislation, they're figuring it out. So either you are going to complain to the refs, which in this case, the refs are the electorate, and if the refs, don't call it, or the refs don't do what they're going to do, then you got to learn how to roll up your sleeves and get dirty with them and beat them at that game. And it feels like Democrats are afraid to do that, and they think somehow that this moral high ground in politics, which does not exist, by the way, is going to sort of make them or exalt them as the party of people's choice, and that's not how this works.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I don't know why you're sitting on the meat. You're talking to the wrong person. Because that is not how I operate. I absolutely agree. I think that, this new crop of Democrats is exactly what most of the party has been waiting on. We are consistently told this is the type of energy that we need. I think it's one reason that you do see some pushback about the president's age. I don't know if it's so much his age, because wasn't nobody pushing back about Bernie and his age, and we know that Trump is barely younger than Biden, but I think that there is this association that the younger the Democrat, maybe the feistier, and the more willing the younger Democrats are to go toe to toe instead of just sitting there. But you gotta understand, like, I don't plan on checking out in the next 5 to 10 years. Like, God willing, like, I'm gonna be here. So it's certain things I just can't deal with. Like, we need to acknowledge climate change. We need to make sure that women are going to have access to free rights. We need to make sure that my black butt can still head to the polls and vote for myself. Because if it's up to them, I'll be able to. So, like, I mean, that's the energy.
We don't really have to work with them if we owned our own. Young blood, Malik. This is the reason why the youth is so important. Black youth, the black youth. So, no, I'm not worried about any. I'm not talking to respectfully any other culture, but which even in our culture, we still have a difficult time. You know, we agreed to disagree on certain things when it comes to black culture, but I'm not going to get on that. The fact of the matter is, you're preaching to the choir. Thus, throughout the years, people have owned and controlled their own establishments and has sold them to the highest bidder. BET, Viacom, or BET sold to Viacom. Mr. Johnson getting a good grip. The dude that used to own Comcast, which ADOS claimed to, got himself a nice cash payment. Somewhere here in the United States, I know it was somewhere in the state of Nevada, that in downtown Las Vegas, there was a casino owned by a black man who had died of a heart attack, gave it to his wife, who didn't want to specifically own that particular hotel, gave it to her sons, and her son sold it for money. Now, I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm not saying that to demolish the conversation and say we can't own and control shit. We absolutely positively can, because there are absolutely brothers out there who own their own shit, but it's not in a consistent, systematic stage. It's more like I gotta drive out 30 miles just to get some jerk chicken, or I gotta drive out 30 miles just to get this particular product from my own people. It's just, you have to be consistent. You know what I mean? You just have to. And you have to stick with your word. You have to stick with your gun and stick with your word. Again, this is the reason why people are so important. So important. We need to build more brown people too dark. Well, what the hell do you think I am? I'm not too dark to the point where, let me challenge you on something. When you have children, when two black people get together and have a child, what do you think that child comes out as? You don't come out black like that, like me. Not at first. They come out white. Two black people can get together and have a white kid. It's called an albino. They started out at first. And then over time, when God gets to work, they start becoming either darker than your mother, or lighter than your father. That's not a white kid. How old are you? Oh my goodness, no. My goodness. Wow, 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 wow. Black, I know. Good Lord. Our women were raped. Well, it wasn't just raped. They had their babies snatched from them from the womb, from their stomachs, and used as bowling balls. Or we can go deep. Or we can go deep into the biblical realm, and the Hebrew babies were being thrown in the river for alligators to munch on them. Yeah. Even the Haitians had to deal with uh, babies being snatched away from them, and they played a game, and they played a game with the Haitian babies. Until we stood up, a small sovereign country, by the way, stood up 1804 and started smacking the shit out of 3 colonies, one including Napoleon, which that same Napoleon went into Kemet and snatched off the nose of Hotep. Let me just put it that way. So yes, we know our history, and we also know the history of the people who have betrayed us. Your William O'Neills, your J. Edgar Hoovers of the world. We know those. The point of contention is, when it comes to Jasmine Crockett, the point of contention is, do we want the exact same things that when Kamala Harris spoke out in that video, do we want the exact same things to happen? It happened with what happened with Kamala, what Kamala said, it happened with Jasmine Crockett. If you don't want that, you got to do your due diligence. Call and start complaining. Or we're gonna if we're gonna have to do a Zoom call, then we're gonna have to do Zoom calls. And so messed up. I forgot to play about that whole Israel thing. I mean, she keeps getting called out. Constantly keeps getting called out on this whole Israel thing. She constantly keeps getting called out, and all of it's totally debunked. But again, y'all flip and move goalposts all the time. So she can support Israel a little bit, but you don't have the same smoke for Donald Trump when he goes to China and he's playing Tetris with Kim Jong-un. And playing this little Twitter war on X with Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un or Vladimir Putin don't want nothing to do with no damn Trump. Stop it. And to be quite frank, nobody in the United States of America, even the people in his own party, want anything to do with him, aka Marjorie Taylor Greene. Big bomb, big black bomb. Never mind. I can't even do that. Fact of the matter is, we got to reach this lady, and we got to start complaining. We have to. If you want better for Black America society, if you want better for Black America, respectfully, to hell with the Latinos, to hell with the Hispanics. If the Hispanics recognize that they are part of Africa too, cool. Invite them in. If not, push them out. Push them out. We want to be included in everything. We want to be included in your plans for Black America. Say that. Say it. Say it. Say it to your in your intent. Say it. Let her know. Let her camp know. If you want this vote, you have to be a little bit. You just or some people might be just might be bold and just say, you either gonna do this for us or or we just gonna stay home. You gonna give us money? Are you gonna give us money? Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna push it further and further away. Don't do that. Grad, are you white? I think Grad's white. You can't hold you can't hold specifically Black people accountable. I don't think you have that clout, sir. I just don't think you do. But let me not pick on the people in the chat. Go in and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And donate $1. Donate $1 so I can get me some coffee. I need $1, y'all. I need $1, $2. $1, $2. I didn't say 20, I didn't say 10. I said $1, $2 for my coffee fund. For my coffee fund.
Is climate change a real issue though? Like, let's be real. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
It is for the younger generation.
Yes. It is, Charles. I'm sorry. It is. It is.
I
We need to breathe. Everybody needs to breathe. We need to breathe and to live.
I don't disagree. I just think that I think that for a number of Black voters, if you were to ask them what their top 5 issues or priorities are, climate change is not going to appear in 1, 2, or 3, and it probably won't be 4.
They may not use the word climate change, but they will absolutely talk about environmental injustice. I just had a whole crowd of people in my office wanting me to do some stuff just this past week. And I mean, literally, it's the cement plants, it's the shingle plants, it's all of these plants that they're living around, and they are being hit with medical bills that they can't afford, whether it's the kids having asthma or whether it's the cancer. They are very concerned. If we're not talking about like the very upper Black folk that aren't necessarily living in these environments, but if we're talking about the Black and brown communities that haven't been able to kind of move out of these environments, these are really big issues for them. They may not call it climate change. They just talk about the environmental issues per se, but it's a big issue for Black folk.
Charles Coleman is here. I'm on his radio. I got a clock. I got to manage all of this. Come on. This ain't, I know you feel good because it's not MSNBC, which I appreciate. Jasmine Crockett is here as well, representative from the 30th District in the great state of Texas. And as, I'm reading your bio, it was a racist letter that you received that inspired you to shift from going into medicine or into accounting.
You dug a deep, Karen. You dug a little deep.
No, but I find that fascinating because most of us went to college, into a predominantly white college. I went to Drew. There was always some message, some noose, some bull crap. We had a slave sale on campus at Drew when I was there. So, we are always, on the rugby team, and they actually had a Black kid on the rugby team who dressed in like cloth to be sold. And I said, oh my God, like, this is crazy. So for you, that inspired you as you were trying to get some justice. I think about everyone picking up their mat. Everybody has a thing to do. Talk about what we can do, because we don't do a talk show here, as you know. This has to be about solutions. And I hear Charles when he says the environment is not important, but it is important. It's up to us to make it important. We have to develop the appetite for people to lean in. We aren't talking at people. We are inspiring people to get up and do something. So, Representative Crockett, going into Congress, because you public defender, you had your own law firm, you were coming in to defend people, you decided to roll up your sleeves as you're asking us to do and run for office. You lost your first race, but you were not deterred. I love this, right? You came back and you're here, you won. For you now, what was the biggest surprise? And then how do we bust through the blockades and the filibusters and all of the ways in which Congress doesn't function to help us? What?
Boy, oh boy. I should do my own podcast. Should I do my own podcast, y'all? Should I do my own podcast? All right, to the person that says that we're not oppressed. Okay, I want you to define oppression. I want you to define oppression. When we say oppressed, we mean that the type of things that have happened to us ever since we came into this country, whether we were already here versus we were scattered all over the place. We were scattered all over the place. Brazil, parts of the 13 colonies before it became the 60th state, because we finally count Hawaii as the 60th state. But it became the 13 before the 13 colonies, before everything else. We were scattered all over the world, scattered all over the nations, whether we were African, Haitian, Jamaican, Homo sapien, the Somalians, the Moroccos, even though the United States is Morocco, whether you want to know it or not. When we came here, specifically here, what was given to us specifically? If we were not an oppressed people, what was given to us specifically that we could call our own? It's not like, the white man says, hey, won't you come over here in America, help us build America? And I promise there'll be some housing for you. There will definitely be some housing for you. And you'll have 40 acres in the mule and $100. Voter suppression by every bill. But if you're going to talk about today's time, you're going to have to go back and figure out why we were so oppressed then versus the oppression now. The oppression now is everything has been given to each and every other single ethnicity, minority group. Even people coming in here and then famine happens over there, over in Russia, over in China, over in this country, in that country. They come over here and they're giving checks and balances versus people who have already been over here who don't get the same checks and balances. We're giving loans and we're wondering why we're in debt. We're still in debt to this very day. People are calling in and talking about, we can get rid of debt. And it's like, no, you can't. And that's another thing. If we're going to ask for reparations, we should ask to clear up all of our debt. No matter what we did, if we ran up credit cards, if we didn't pay for a hospital bill, that should just be cleared up, clean slate. Clean slate. Clean fucking slate. And I'm not, and you might as well, hey, you want to add in a cash payment or two, because we're still waiting on our two grand from Trump. We're still waiting on our $2,000. I'm not holding my breath. They gave reparations. You spell reparations wrong. They gave reparations to the Germans in Israel. Speaking of Israel, people were accusing, and I have to get to this, people were accusing Jasmine of being pro-Israel. Oh my gosh. She is pro-Israel, which is not true, but let me not hold you. Oh, I'll pass the library. Doggone it. Let's see. Okay, gotcha. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Yeah.
I
There's
think
a little bit of that.
a little bit. People have underestimated you for various reasons,
Yeah.
but you're already outperforming your opponent for the Democratic nomination.
Yeah.
You had your November 4th elections, and you ended up with 2 candidates that were elected statewide.
She
You're
doesn't.
talking about someone being elected to the federal level. You should
No.
aid to Taiwan. It included aid to Haiti. It also
She was right at it. Hold on.
recent conversation. It was not. In addition to the fact that it was clipped.
Yes.
And
She's talking about it.
that's what I say about that. In addition to that, I want to be clear about my record because it's there. So let me first address this clip that was going around. This clip is from the DNC. I was in the spin room for the vice presidential debate. So this clip is old. The reason that I bring up the fact that the clip is old is because somebody tried to make it seem, because a lot of people thought this was a recent conversation. It was not. In addition to the fact that it was clipped.
Yes.
And so it ended at, I have supported all aid packages.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were like, oh my God. And they didn't understand that, number one, we've had multiple aid things that have come up, including Ukraine. And so the package that I was specifically
Good
asking
point.
about when it said
Good point.
from April,
Good
that
point,
package
Malik.
included aid to Taiwan. It included aid to Haiti. It also included some money for Gaza in that particular package, as well as defensive arms as it relates to Israel. Now, I know that there even been conversation about, well, she went to Israel. Okay, you should want me to travel the world and know what's what. But in addition to that, when we leave the country, and most of the time we don't talk about it, but like when we leave the country, you're sitting down with leaders of these various places. You also are making sure that the dollars that we send are being spent the way that we were told they were going to be spent, right? So that's whether we're going and checking out USAID in Africa, which I have gone and done that as well. There are pictures of me doing that. But if we say that we sent money for Iron Dome, I would suspect that people would want me to confirm that Iron Dome is actually there and that it's working, because that's supposedly what the money is for. And the final point that I'll make is that, we're going to put it out on our website as we start to kind of lay out our policy pages. But I've done countless letters and countless things specifically on behalf of Gaza. That is all in my record. It is way before I was running for this seat. And so, I just find it interesting that I ran for re-election to the US House on the federal level with the record that I have. And no one had any issues. I ended up actually having the best numbers in the entire state of Texas. And that is because I have been very clear on the humanity of people. Like that's where I stand. And I have also been very clear in my critiques of Netanyahu. Now, some people want me to be out front and me to be the face of these things. And that's not really where my district has been. So therefore, I have focused on making sure that I've been out front on the things in my district.
Oh, well, sir, your people actually took away everything culturally that we have been practicing for centuries. You took our names, took our names, took our speech. We didn't want to speak this dummy English. We had our own. We had our own speech. We had our own languages. We had our own names. We had so many riches within the African diaspora that things that your people have taken and burned. Now all of a sudden you're the victims. Make it make sense.
Needed and cared about most. Not to say that they don't care about this, because I don't want to insinuate that, but it doesn't mean that I haven't been doing the work. And so, because it's not been very clear to people, we are going to put it all on the website, because I feel like no one should ever run from that record. And
Oh, and that's another thing. If everything is all well and good, then why is Donald Trump mentioning S-hole countries? What does he mean when he says S-hole countries? Could he be the people specific in Africa? Why is my mama calling? Could it be those people from specifically in Africa? The people from Somalia? The people from Nigeria? Why is Donald Trump messing with people in Nigeria? Because he wants those riches over there. Let's just keep it a buck. Yeah, he wants those riches over there. It ain't because they're Christian. Because number one, Donald Trump is not a Christian. Other than if he was a Christian, he wouldn't be talking about his daughter the way he does. Oops.
got into this race knowing that I had a record. It's the mischaracterization of my record that's been frustrating.
I got a couple clarifying questions. So number one, I guess, B, 25. You said that you feel this attack was calculated. This conversation.
No. I was told.
Okay.
I was told.
I just want to make that clear.
No. I was told.
Okay. Second clarifying question. Why would a bill include aid measures and measures to aid, Israel in their defense arms? Like, why would both of those things be on the same paper when there's an active conflict going on?
Yeah, so interesting question.
Okay.
At the time that we were making these votes, we were in divided government.
Okay.
So we had the White House and we also had the Senate, but we did not have the House. So what happened is there were multiple bills that had been put on the floor. There was one bill that went to the floor. It was for aid to Israel and nothing else.
Okay.
They did not get the votes to pass that out of the House. They then put a bill on the floor to give aid to Israel and to defund the IRS.
Okay.
That did not pass out the House either. Ultimately, in order to get something passed out the House, there ended up having to be like a negotiation where basically House Dems were like, hey, Haiti needs money, Taiwan needs money, and you've got to include something for Gaza before you get votes from us to get this out. And the thing is, Senate Dems weren't going to go forward either without something else. So this is what happens like in a divided government that actually functions in some way, is that like deals are made and they put it all together. So it's what they call usually a Christmas tree, right? Like where you have an omnibus where you're like, I'm gonna put my ornament on, you put your ornament on so that everybody can get stuff. And so ultimately, again, that specific question in that clip was about the April supplemental. And I said I voted for all of the supplemental, meaning additional kind of places that also received aid.
Okay, good to know. My next question is, I feel like I've had multiple conversations with you, but this is the most that I've been able to hear you speak specifically on what you've done for Gaza. And also what I see circulating most online are clips of what you had to say in favor of maybe citizens of Israel, specifically, but the way it feels to the public, people have thrown out the word Zionist.
I mean, you can call me a humanitarian because I care about people. And I look at this conflict maybe a little, and not maybe, I'm sure people look at the conflict completely differently, depending on who you are. But I look at the people of Israel. I'm talking about the war. I'm talking about everything that started off with October 7th. And I'm being very limiting in saying starting off with October 7th because if we're honest, this has been ongoing for years. I can remember campaigning in Michigan and telling people, I'm like, y'all know that back in the day they used to say peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you understand that this has been ongoing and there have been so many wars as they've characterized them. But nevertheless, so when we're talking about, or for me,
Yes.
I look at the Israeli people and I separate them from Netanyahu.
Okay.
And the Netanyahu government. And actually in that clip, I was doing the same thing and I was warning of kind of this idea of we don't like the leader, so therefore we leave the people or we start to attack the people. And I said, look at Donald Trump. Now, mind you, this is before he even got into office.
Yeah.
But right now, there are a lot of places that have a lot of problems with the United States. I disagree with Donald Trump. The people have been protesting Donald Trump. The people were protesting Netanyahu before October 7th.
Yeah.
We saw that. Netanyahu was reforming the courts. Guess who else reformed our courts? Donald Trump. And so I saw all these similarities, except for the fact that I will tell you that I do feel like Netanyahu was more intelligent than Donald Trump. That's a whole other issue. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, I would hate for people to say, we're going to leave Americans or Americans are bad people. Same thing like with some of the things, the resolutions that the Republicans were putting on the floor in the 118th Congress. It was going after the Palestinian people. And I was like, you can take issue with Hamas all day long, but the Palestinian people have to be separated from that. And so, there are people that may disagree with me, and I'm good with people disagreeing with me. But I just want you to say, this is what she believes.
It's not absolute.
And I disagree with her on that.
Yeah, I get you on that. I think the last thing I'll say about that clip, there was lines you said at the end, and I've heard you say a lot of these things before. I just wanted people to see it again. But there was something that you said. You said that.
Okay, we're going to take a pause for the cause. We're going to go to the chat. Well, you can't. Well, see, Malik, you can't speak to people who simply put don't understand or don't want to understand our culture, our way of life, our struggle, our pains, our suffering. You can't do that. You're gonna have to just let them go and lie their head somewhere in the sand, and hopefully they drown. So it's null and void at this point. It's pointless. It's completely pointless. I could have my ass whooped. You can have your ass whooped by a white man, and I have to question why you beat me. And this same dude was just say, just shut the fuck up and just let them beat you. That's what they're saying. Just shut up and let them beat you. You think these same people think that the United States of America is the greatest thing since sliced bread? Well, oh buddy, you don't know history. Wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. You just lost in the sauce. And it's good. It's good, and it's good in this sense. When you're getting your ass whooped and you know why, and you want to know why you gotten your ass whooped, don't ask any questions. Just don't ask no questions. Just get your ass whooped. When you start getting your ass whooped and you start complaining to the cops, or you start complaining to the people in the Senate seats, the people in Congress, you start complaining to your mayors and your governors. Give us a bill that we stop that these black folks stop whooping our asses. And then we get those town hall meetings and we start saying, why did you whoop this white man's ass? Well, he was asking for it. Well, no, we were what some of these people don't understand is we were the ones with the suits. We were the ones that were dressed to the nine, even though some of us couldn't afford suits and ties back then, back in those particular days. But when we did have the suits and the ties and the hats on and we were being polite and y'all were still calling us the N-word back then, darky and whatever else, we were still nice to you. When Martin Luther King was marching for civil rights and he was having bricks being thrown at his head and he was being arrested and being guard dogs being sicked on him and hoses being sicked on us, obviously that, mainly you were afraid. Mainly you were afraid because we were more smarter, more intelligent, more elite. And when these certain black conservatives come up on here and say you haven't done anything specifically to upgrade your keep, well, look at the things that we have built back then. We built the helicopter, the stoplight, the peanut, the shoe, the shoehorn. I mean, you get what I mean? If you don't know, read into it. If you do not know, read into it. And that's another thing that these so-called people don't understand and don't absolutely care is that you don't give too much of a damn about your white women, but yet white women benefit the NFL more than they benefit anything else. I mean, let's keep it a buck. I mean, Sharon Moore, the former Michigan head coach. I'm a Michigander. Before him, it was Mel Tucker, the former Michigan State from Colorado, went to Michigan State, dominated his first year, started messing with all them white women. Ooh, say that. Black people also invented air travel and the electricity. Also, they also invented a way for you to eat. When the white man was giving you the worst part of the pig, who was slaving over a hot stove for you? The black woman. Look up Sarah Bartman and your reasoning for all this twerking going on. Thank her. Thank her for the and this is a little bit controversial. Black woman is a slight stronger than black men. You know why? Because we had to carry children. They had to carry children on their back while carrying loads of clothes or loads of food, right? But let me not hold you. This is the reason why her ass was so big. And this is one of the reasons why white folks experimented on her by carving her up when she passed on. Once she passed away, they carved her up and tried to analyze her in a way. Doesn't that sound familiar? It almost sounds like Nat Turner, like when he was dismemberized. Yikes. Yikes. Yikes.
the relationship between the United States and Israel has existed long before you were born, I was
Yeah.
born, and will exist long after.
Yeah.
But why does that have to be the case?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a
And I
valid.
wanna, it's valid, but I also wanna frame it like people like you and myself. The United States has had a relationship with a lot of things: racism, sexism, homophobia, and we fight against those things every day, fight to cut those ties every day. So why does it feel like this relationship with Israel has to prevail?
I'll tell you this, that right now, because this is, at least has been publicly stated, right now we have allies that are not sharing information with us because they don't trust us to be able to hold on to that information in a safe way. Obviously, we've seen what's happened with Signal Gate, that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that Intel has always been very important to the United States. And so that's
okay. Well, let's move on to something.
Well, y'all get the hint. I hope y'all get the hint.
Who's a Republican.
But again, there's the other side of it too.
And at the time, they got caught. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to give Big Daddy Gavin Newsom a chance to vote on the bills or to veto them. They said, "Don't worry, Daddy. We'll just pretend. We won't even put them on the floor." Then, of course, this year they came with all these, reparations bills for your hair and apologies and all this college stuff and all this stuff. And, Gavin vetoed 5 of them. But he said, "Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and get y'all an apology. How about that?" And most of us said, "Shove it," right? Shove your apology where the sun don't shine. Because we don't want that. You know what we want? We want money. So again, saying all of that, we are being, asked to think about showing up. And that's not keeping the buck, right? I mean, that's not lying, right? It's keeping the buck. Black voters in Texas will. They absolutely will 100% show up for Jasmine Crockett just because. In fact, the polling that they've done says she's about 89-90% in favor with Black voters, and she's doing well above James Tallarico with the Black voters. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, but I think we need to start having these conversations. Jasmine, if you want I'm in Texas, right? So I can vote for Jasmine. If you want our vote, why? We're not going to just give it to you. It's not personal. It's not because we hate Black women. I'm a Black woman. Like I said, I've been there for 54 years, and I'm going to be there till I die. So I got the resume. I can speak on Black women. So it's not because you're a Black woman. I would think because you're a Black woman that you would show up, and the loudest, loud like you usually are about everything else, the loudest about things for Black Americans. It should be you. It should be you because you're a Black woman saying, nah, don't not move unless the money moves for my people, right? Because we sit here, we go ham for everybody else. We need to go ham for our people. See, until you start doing that, then I'll think about it. But I'm not about to be showing up for her or anybody that is not talking and walking for Black Americans. So I'm going to see what y'all have to say about it. I know it's probably, pretty heated in the comment section, but that's okay. It's cold here. So thank you for bearing with me. Let's see what y'all got to say. Because I see y'all saying a lot. Going all the way to the top. Julie Brown, now of course this was before I started speaking because I saw that you made a comment before I went live. It says, "Milk, especially if she's pushing for immigration and I know FBA agenda." Well, I haven't heard FBA agenda, Black American agenda yet. I haven't. Not saying that she doesn't have one. And let's see. At 207, and again, for whatever reason on my end, your names don't always pop up. It says, "Not dumb enough to continue with an authoritarian Republican." So yes, that's the other thing. The Republicans here in Texas is doing a lot, right? It's full on racism in full display. But I've only been in Texas since 2020. So I don't know. I'm still kind of learning a lot, although I've heard a lot about Texas when I was in California. So yeah, it's on full display, but racism is on full display.
Okay. I can say you can blast Jasmine Crockett, but saying that she's retarded, you might as well just call her a nigga. So I just taxed that ass for 24 hours. Any racial slurs, any bashing of black women, you can say I'm not. She's not gonna win. She's a loser. She's she's not gonna make it. I accept it. I accept it. It's like whatever. You don't like her, cool. I got it. I get it. But calling her retarded, she has fake hair, fake eye. Well, I can accept all that fake stuff, the fakeness and blah, 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 blah. I mean, she's more realer than you and she's more educated than you. Clock that. But calling her retarded, might as well call her a nigga. So 24 hours. Text that.
Right? Because it's always been a thing everywhere. Especially now that Trump is in office, a lot of these Republicans, MAGA people, they're like, we don't have to hide or bite our tongue anymore. We could just go full throttle. So yes, that is a thing. And that's the other thing people are being asked to consider. Well, I guess, can you put your dislike of what the Democrats have done to Black Americans or not done for Black Americans long enough to get the Republicans out of office? That's kind of the ask. So I don't know. FB Empowerment, how you doing? Since you already know the answer to that question, HE double hockey sticks, no. Okay. 217 says you get what you vote for. That is true. Says apparently blacks in here are fine with Trump. I don't know how fine people are with Trump. There's a lot of black people who are fine with Trump, and that's their right to be that. Just like there's a lot of black people who are fine with Biden or would have been fine with Kamala. See, we got to be fine with people being fine with their own decisions. Because you only get one vote, so I don't understand people, trying to be mad at people for the way that they vote. That's your right to do that. If you want to vote for a Republican or a Democrat, that's your right to do that. Me personally, I like to vote for people who are, talking and walking a little bit closely to what's going to help me as a Black American, right?
And you don't even know who that is. Who's going to be doing that for you? Gavin Newsom ain't going to do that for you. Gavin Newsom is not going to do that for you. As a matter of fact, he came out with some whack ass bill not too long ago and changed changed some of the things on it. African, absolutely. And I'll say it again. If you don't recognize your Africanity and you claim that you're black and you think you're not, well, hey. But again, let me see. False equivalency. That was not racist. Again, black folks were labeled retarded, lazy, inferior. All those things, you might as well just call me a nigga. Simple. That's some racist profiling for your ass. Let's see here. Why is it we keep adapting words that demeaning us? Well, we know. Well, Malik, let me test your skills out, young blood. What do you think that particular root word means? Niggles, we're used to hearing when we're in Kemet. We're used to hearing that word. We're used to hearing the word niggles, which means, well, let me not tell you that. let me not tell you that. Oh my goodness. Well, let me not clown around with it. According to my footnotes, your history, my history, it means king. If you look it up in the Black dictionary, it absolutely means king. It's just the same thing as saying you calling yourselves black. What is the definition of black words? This is why specifically young people growing up need four things. Four things when it comes to education: science, math, um, not edgenuity, not edgenuity, etymology, etymology, science, math, and civics. Etymology, science, math, and civics. I'll say it again. This is what Black people specifically need when it comes to getting your education up: science, math, etymology, knowing words. Knowing words, words specifically. Black in America means what? Pale. Because not everybody can read. Not everybody is taught real history. Not in these schools. What white teacher is going to teach you your history? I'll wait. All I know is going to teach you is, Christopher Columbus and a little bit of Martin Luther King, a little bit of Malcolm X after the 28 days is all dried up and boom. It's like, oh my God, Martin Luther King wasn't a hereditarian. Martin Luther King, after he got out of jail, realized he was taking his building from a burning building to another burning building. And he absolutely went to, I think he went Jamaica to pay. Yes, he went to Jamaica to pay his respects to Marcus Garvey. And then later on came back and saying, we are going to go to Washington to collect what is owed to us. And that is reparations. And then later on, they shot him, sent him to the hospital, and then finished him off. That's history for your ass. So again, science, etymology, civics, and math. Those are the specific things we should be learning. If you are homeschooling your children. If you are homeschooling your children. I'll continue with a few minutes of this and we'll just wrap this up.
Shane Thomas, how you doing? He says, more like Crockett for Crockett and whatever her billionaire. What? She got a billionaire man that put lady on the streets. Okay. Rosante, what's going on with you? He says, H, no. Peggy, what's going on? He says, what? Why is it a mystery about where her people are from? I don't know. I don't know if it's a mystery. Isn't she from Detroit or something like that?
Again, I specifically, I don't know. If you have if you want things to continue to in Donald Trump's favor, don't vote for her. Just don't vote for Jasmine. If you want things to continue to flow in Donald Trump's favor, do not vote for her. Just don't. Matter of fact, stay home. But I would rather, and this is just me, not anybody else. Gotta go call me when you do the great bit. All right, my brother. All right, thanks for stopping by. If you want the same results that have been happening in the last 10 months, to happen in the next 4 more years, don't vote. Don't vote. I understand it. And again, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. But it'd be smart if you would create a bill that is standard and specifically for us. If you, I don't care who's in charge. Start with your congressman in your city, in your state. Start with them and say, we would like a bill specifically for Black people standards. If you're going to come out with an Asian hate crime bill, you need to come out with a Black American crime bill. Do it that way. Just do it that way. But I wouldn't say Black America. I wouldn't say that. I would do melanated America or something like that. I don't know. I would do the Black again. You're putting yourself in the position to fail if you keep calling yourself that. So, like I said, it is what it is. Let's see here.
Y'all have been waiting for this moment. I have been waiting for an election. Y'all have been waiting.
Like I said, to be fair, there's the other side of it. There are people who are a support group for Jasmine Crockett. Let's get on a little bit to those who are not supportive.
For this moment, I have been waiting for an election between a Black Democrat and a Black Republican, because now Democrats will actually have to show policy. They will not be able to use one of their greatest weapons, which is identity politics by race. They cannot say, oh, the racist white Republicans, because now that Republican is a Black man. This Senate race,
What?
I know it's still early and it hasn't officially kicked off yet, but it's going to be between Jasmine Crockett and Wesley Hunt, 2 Black people. All right?
Ain't nobody gonna, no, ain't nobody gonna vote for Wesley Hunt. Are you Wesley Hunt? Really? I laugh at that. Yes, I'm clowning. I'm laughing at it.
We are about to see how people will put identity politics over real policy. We are going to see.
He will get snatched up.
Excuses, y'all. Republicans in Texas, you need to go ahead and put Wesley Hunt as the forerunner so we can see what happens. This is your time, Texas, to show up. This is your time. I've already been looking at interviews of Jasmine Crockett, and she can switch that accent up. She's talking more intelligent now. You see how she talks.
What?
But when she come out to talk to Black people, she put that ghetto girl shit right back on. Oh, y'all, I can't. I've been waiting on this moment because I want to see what Democrats are going to say. They cannot run on race. I really feel, and I'm going to knock on wood for you, Wesley. I really feel they're going to try to do anything to sabotage your campaign, bro.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today. Welcome back to the channel. I am your brother Wise, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up. This brother's on to something. Down in Texas, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Jasmine Crockett is running. But on the Republican side, so is Wesley Hunt. Now, Wesley Hunt right now, he's not the front runner, but he is running. Right now, he's 3rd place, give or take, which poll you're looking at. But as of December, GOP voters in a poll, they roughly have AG Paxton with 33%, the current senator, John Cornyn, at 27%, and Wesley Hunt sits at 28%. So he's in second, but he's really, I've seen other polls where it says that he's third, but right now, basically, it's a three-way race. Paxson slightly ahead, Cornyn's weekend, and Hunt is within striking distance, but he needs some.
Don't you ever mention Herschel Walker in my live chat. He is no longer. I don't give a damn if he was a former Cowboy, former Dallas Cowboy or not. Don't his name in my chat again. Oh, let's continue.
Now, I'm with this brother. I love to see Representative Wesley Hunt win the primary, the GOP primary for senator in the state of Texas. I love to see it. Wesley Hunt's one of my favorite representatives out there. West Point Greg.
Yeah, coon it up.
Husband, father, family business.
Coon.
Articulate. He can
married to a white woman. Coon.
In a wonderful way. And I think he'd be a really good candidate. And I'd love to see this. I would love to see this. What we do know is that Democrats will find a way to pull identity politics into this. They'll talk about how, Wesley Hunt's a man. They'll talk about potentially who he's married to, because we know that Jasmine Crockett, she's willing to go that low. This is who they are. They gotta find a way to divide the people along racial lines or some other category out there. Hit the like button. There's a few more.
And what specifically is Wesley Hunt going to give specifically for black people? What is he gonna do specifically? Who's the other guy that Donald Trump endorsed that isn't for reparations because his family lineage goes all the way back to Jamaica? Isn't it? And this is a good one. What is the guy's name? Interesting. We're talking. Wait. We're gonna have to go into an omission. Hold on a second. Reese. Let's go to Reese Waters. Let's go to old Reese, shall we? It's not Gavin Newsom. Who is it? It's not Gavin Newsom. Who? Give me a second. Oh, Brian Donalds.
He stayed crisp, and you know what I mean.
Brian Donalds. You know, Brian Donalds, your boy, is not for reparations. But yeah, he constantly gets not only gets clowned by Jasmine Crockett, he gets clowned by everybody else too. Larry Elders is the same person. Damn, you pull Larry Elders out your ass. Like, damn, I haven't heard Larry Elders. How is he still alive? Or Jesse Jackson? I don't rightfully know who I is, but I am somebody. Messy Jesse Jackson. Messy Jesse. Let's see here. Ooh. Oh, how can we not forget Jason? Not is it Jason Tatum? Not Jason Tatum. Who am I thinking? Officer Tantrum. Officer Tantrum. Almost forgot about him. Officer Tantrum. Is he still walking around talking shit? Trying to beat up on little white boys? He's still around. Oh boy. Oh boy. Didn't Officer Tantrum get his little wake up call? Coleman Hughes. I don't know Coleman Hughes, but I'm gonna learn to love him. Or was it Amanda Seals? Stop it! I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm talking. Can you dig it? Listen? If Hulk Hogan can call you an N-word, then let these people from the alt-right. And listen, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. Fake is fake. But again, it's just all depends on how you look at things. It all depends on how you look at things. Supreme Court, we already know who the Supreme Court judge is. Clarence Thomas. We all know about Clarence Thomas. We don't even have to cite Clarence Sambo Thomas. We don't have to do all that. We don't have to do that. We do not have to do that. That's a waste of our time.
You maybe consult another one. So these dummies like Marjorie Taylor Greene paints this picture that everybody that's taking lobby money from AIPAC is controlled by AIPAC. So I went to the website. I forget the website. My wife knows the name of it. I looked it up to see who it paid, right? Byron Dunn was getting money from AIPAC. Did Officer Tatum just slide in to save himself about Byron Donald's taking money from AIPAC? Byron got 40 rats, as you would say. Byron got 40 rats. Is there no solidarity or integrity amongst Black matters? That's crazy.
In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative.
Okay, now I get it. They are in an emergency situation. The Black Magas are in an absolute emergency situation. Now I see where you're coming from, Officer Tatum. Now, we saw Dinesh D'Souza finally call out the racism when it affected him. Vivek Ramaswamy still in denial. So I wonder which way Byron Donalds will come out on this. I got some questions for you, Byron. What do you call, let's start with a softball, the DEI label being thrown at your colleagues in Congress like Jasmine Crockett and Hakeem Jeffries. Anti-Semitism. How about the removal of Jackie Robinson and Harriet Tubman from historical records? Anti-Semitism. How about the Young Republicans check? Anti-Semitism. Bringing in white South Africans in the midst of mass deportation. Anti-Semitism. The Haitians eating dogs and cats. Anti-Semitism. How about suppressing the Epstein files? Oh, that's protecting a pedophile. You almost got me. You almost got me.
No. Protecting a pedophile. Just say it. Just go ahead and say it. I'll put it in the freaking chat. Protecting a fucking pedophile.
Being owned by the same people that run Fox News and pump out anti-Black propaganda. Okay, that's anti-Black racism. You got me on that. You got me. Okay, so we got one. How about we build on that? Because this isn't your first rodeo when it comes to the racism from MAGA. You remember that time where they challenged if you could read? Success. That is a fact, and we should celebrate that.
Hold on. Because this dude cannot stop. He cannot stop typing. Show your evidence. You want me to show you evidence of Trump being a not pedophile per se, but a weirdo. He is a fucking weirdo. He is a freaking weirdo. Please do not let me show it. Don't let me show it. I'm gonna ruin your life. Don't let me show that shit. Hell, it makes me vomit every time I hear it. Seriously, it makes me vomit every time I hear him say the most outlandish stuff about his daughter. The most outlandish stuff. And it's bad enough he was being charged and tried in a civil court for the I forgot what the woman's name was, but ran a beauty pageant from back in the day, back in 1996. And then when he went on the Howard Stern show, that's when he all revealed it. Now he didn't deny anything. He didn't deny anything. He didn't even deny anything about when the Epstein files finally came out. And truth be told, not everything has came out yet. So please don't let me do it. Don't let me do it.
Celebrate that. What about the next piece that doesn't have an opportunity? Actually, let's watch this. You have 4 white kids, 4 black kids, 4 Spanish kids who are all starting at the bottom. They're all starting at the bottom for myriad reasons. All I'm saying is everybody's like
Morgan Freeman is a celebrity.
Too many chances, and guess what? Those are the ways. That's the way it works. It's always worked out. But if you want to tell me that the country today is the same when my mother was going through high school, you fundamentally disagree. It is not the same America. It's not even close. It is not. It is not.
Let's go back to Jack Phelps. Tonight by Jack. Jack Phelps.
Have you read the book?
All right.
Stop. Don't educate me about my life, sir. Don't do that. No, sir. Hold on. Please, hear me on this. I like how everybody's shouting at me, the black guy on stage with the microphone in his hand saying, have you read this book, read this book? Don't marginalize my life and what I've done. Don't use that. Don't marginalize the life of other black people in this country or don't know. Don't do that. Don't marginalize theirs. Do you know how many black men in America today from black equity funds, run hedge funds, have done something marvelous? And got to do with politically. They've done marvelous. Don't legitimize what they've done. Don't delegitimize what they've done. Don't do that.
Here's Byron Donald yelling at a crowd not to marginalize him because he's black.
I think this should be. Let me see.
Crockett had to get you together. You remember that? Oh, I know you remember that.
Rather than prioritizing the safety of law-abiding and protecting the lives of innocent residents and visitors, district officials have actively facilitated dysfunction and chaos through their progressive soft-on-crime policies. Instead of addressing the clear epidemic of youth crime in the city, the DC City Council increased the age of youth offenders to individuals 24 years old and younger, meaning fully grown legal adults in the District of Columbia can receive sentences meant for children. This is simply insane.
Imagine being a young man born to Jamaican and Panamanian parents who messed up not once, but twice. Imagine standing in front of a judge with in the balance, and instead of prison, you are given a promise of mercy. Your record gets wiped clean. You get a second chance at life. Now imagine taking that promise and turning it into promotion. You go to college, you get a job, and even become a member of Congress. That's what redemption looks like. That's what America is supposed to be about. And that is exactly the story of the next wannabe governor from Florida. As a young man, understand, he went through pretrial diversion for misdemeanor marijuana possession. As an adult, yet younger than 24, he was charged with and ultimately placed on probation for felony robbery charges, which expunged. He was given a third chance, and now he's the face of a bill that would not afford young people in Washington, D.C. the same opportunities afforded to him. Let me be real. If he had grown up under Donald Trump's America or under the very D.C. crime bill he's pushing today, he wouldn't be standing here as a member of Congress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you didn't have not one thing. Oh, now you want to talk. Oh, now you want. No, I'm a. But how about now?
And because Senate Democrats would rather still go down this socialist line of spending too much money, which is going to decrease purchasing power for the American people. The filibuster, because the filibuster does not promote debate in the Senate.
You're a victim. Look at my African American black guy. Look at that African American black guy. You might as well just call you a nigga. Why do I have to be that African American black guy? My name is my name. My name is Byron Diamonds. But he'll take it and he'll go, it's like hog on soup. Yuck, 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 yuck. I love you. like Mary Poppins. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And in the tailpipe. And since this dude wants to, he wants to challenge. Okay, all right, cool. We can do that. And someone entertain this dude while I search for the truth. Let's see. And if I bring out this, and you still feel some weird way about it, somebody clock this. Somebody tax that ass real quick. Malik, I already gave you a rent. So if I come out with this and his mind is not changed and he still has this weirdo persona about him, go ahead and tax that ass for me. Let's see. Oop, wrong one. Let me see here.
Thank you, everyone. Donald Trump has every right to be proud of his daughter. Ivanka is a successful, Ivy League educated businesswoman, author, and mother. She's now helping run his campaign and introduced her father at the Republican convention. Yet at times, his fatherly praise is downright cringeworthy, like on The View in 2006.
Said that if Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
His fatherly praise is downright cringeworthy, like on The View in 2006.
Said that if Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Far from protecting his daughter from being talked about as a sex object, he has encouraged it multiple times. On Howard Stern's radio show in 2004 and then again in 2006.
By the way, your daughter, she is a piece of ass. And she looks more voluptuous.
Would you I don't know if you have kids, but even if you didn't, let's just say that you did, would you let Howard Stern or any other stranger say that about your child? Again, would you let anyone say that about your child? Damn, I don't even want to go into that detail. Not right now. The Howard Stern one? Absolutely.
Forever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's unbelievable.
And oh, by the way, I'm not Dean Withers, so you can take that Dean Withers shit someplace else. This should be enough to let you know how creepy and how just downright evil Donald Trump is.
By the way, your daughter, she is a piece of ass, and she looks more voluptuous than ever.
Malik, go and drop this fool for me. I just heard what I just heard was enough for me. That was enough for me. That was way more than enough for me. Let's see. Time your bitch ass out. Donald Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread. He got rid of all the immigrants, but he great by simply using his finger. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he a convicted felon? Isn't he a 34-time convicted felon? Malik, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Donald Trump a 34-time convicted felon? Facts over feelings, right? In 4 states, he was convicted civilly. And because in 2020, they gave this man immunity. And all of his flunkies that he gotten out, or the thing that happened in 2020, what happened at the Capitol over there in January 6th, didn't he get some person out of prison, and he ended up, and that person that got out of prison pardoned. Didn't he delete somebody? And this was under Donald Trump's watch, by the way. Didn't he delete somebody? Okay, cool. Just refreshing my memory. Bottom line to all this, and I know we went on a whole tangent about Trump and everything, and we want to set the record straight about Jasmine Crockett and if you're going to be voting for her. We got a long way to go, people. We got a long way to go, and it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year, and it's going to be very, very telling who we vote for, why we vote for. Who we vote for, and why should we vote for him. And it's not just enough getting online and just saying, I'm not going to vote for her because of this. I'm going to vote for her because of this. No, we have to let this person know. Through email, through some of y'all can get together and put together a podcast or something, invite her through, ask her some specific questions. Don't make it weird, just make it respectable and say, okay, so what are you going to do specifically for Black folks in here in America? Because we are tired, and tell the reason why. We are tired because of X, Y, and Z. Don't make it lengthy. Just don't make it too lengthy. She gets it. She understands it. She's heard it all. Not all of it, but she's heard enough. In my opinion, she's absolutely heard parts of Black media. And I'm not saying she's perfect. None of us are. But I believe in my heart of hearts that she would be the one in Senate and by the way, we're only talking Senate. You act like she's going to run for president of the United States or something. She's only running for state senator in her state of Texas. None of us are from Texas. I'm not from Texas. I don't know who in the chat is from Texas. Who in the chat is from Texas? None of us are. None of us are from Texas. So, but because it's a Black woman and because how powerful she can be, we all know that when it comes to senators and running for a specific amount of time, what's next for senators? Becoming president of the United States. Who is running in California? Isn't Gavin Newsom running in put his ring in the hat for running for president of the United States? And guess who else is planning on running again for president of the United States? Your girl Kamala Harris. Ain't we so blessed? Ain't we so blessed? Ain't we so blessed? Now we've learned the lessons. We've learned lessons and lessons learned, but sometimes lessons have to be like Yoda would say. And sorry for the Star Wars reference. You have to unlearn what you have learned. I don't know. The ball's in y'all court. Young blood. The ball's in your court. Brother, the ball is specifically in our court. Right? We are the ones that are going to be deciding if Jasmine Crockett is worthy of that seat. And once again, I say that she is worthy. I will get into more detail, specifically the reasons why. But at the same damn time, you have to make up your minds. Because if you want the same things that happened in the past 10 months, what's been happening with immigrants, with, snatching away Affordable Care Acts, snatching away health care, or boosting it up, boosting your premiums so your grandmothers and grandfathers can't get the specific care that they need. If you want all that horse shit to happen, and he's proclaiming, like he proclaimed yesterday, that, we have affordable health care. We just got to get rid of the name Obamacare. We got to get rid of the name Obamacare. The gas has gone down. The price of food has gone down. Blase, 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 blase. If you are a red state. If you are a blue state, not so much. But you ultimately have to make that decision. She knows that, I know that, you know that, and she knows that you have to make the decision whether to vote for her or not. You have to make that decision and nobody else. So I pray you make the right choice, whatever that choice may be. And if you want, and if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you will go to change.org/swearing Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. Again, change.org/U.S. Senate. And I will definitely be seeing you on the other side. I will see y'all on Sunday. Peace.